The net screamed as something massive thrashed beneath the surface, nearly capsizing my boat in the pre-dawn darkness. What I hauled up wasn't fish. It was a woman with silver scales covering half her body and eyes that burned like deep-sea fire, her webbed fingers clawing at the ropes, while a voice like crashing waves cursed me in a language that made my bones ache. I'd been fishing these waters for 20 years, following the same routes my father taught me, but I'd never seen anything that made the ocean itself seem to hold its breath. She wasn't drowning. She was furious, and when our eyes met through the tangled net, I realized I'd caught something that was supposed to be legend. She speaks my name before I tell her. Marcus. The word rolls off her tongue like she's tasted it 1,000 times. My hands shake as I try to untangle the net, but she grabs my wrist with those webbed fingers. You lost your wife 3 years ago. Sarah. Cancer took her slow. Your boat payments are 4 months behind. The bank sent another letter yesterday. I stumble backward. The boat rocks violently. How does she know these things? Her voice shifts between human speech and something that sounds like whale song mixed with storm winds. Water drips from her silver hair, but it doesn't pool on the deck. It moves in patterns, forming symbols that hurt to look at. I am Nerida, queen of the deepmost realm, last daughter of an ancient bloodline that ruled all oceans before your kind learned to build ships. The scales along her arms pulse with light that cuts through the morning fog. She pulls herself upright, towering over me even while sitting. Her eyes never blink. I have been hunting these waters for months, Marcus, searching for you. She offers me a choice that sounds like madness. Become the father of her children and live as a king beneath the waves, or release her and watch my world crumble as the oceans die with her bloodline. My people are extinct except for me, victims of your pollution, your deep-sea mining, and something we call the Old Curse, a genetic bottleneck that requires human DNA to break. I laugh because it's either that or scream. She doesn't smile. Instead, she reaches forward and touches my forehead with one wet finger. The world explodes into visions. Vast underwater cities and ruins. Coral graveyards stretching for miles. Bones scattered across the ocean floor like broken shells. Her, standing alone in chambers that once held thousands of her kind. The last guardian of secrets that could heal or destroy the world's waters. The visions end. I'm gasping like I've been underwater for hours. You think I'm lying? She stands and walks to the edge of my boat. Every fish within miles surfaces belly up. The water turns silver with death. She takes me beneath the waves, and I discover I can breathe water when she kisses me. Her saliva burns like liquid fire, rewriting something fundamental in my chest. Microscopic things crawl through my bloodstream, changing me from the inside out. The pressure should crush me at these depths, but her magic wraps around me like a second skin. We descend past shipwrecks and into trenches that pulse with blue light. Ancient things with too many teeth watch us pass. She tests me through trials that push human endurance beyond breaking, swimming through underwater mazes filled with creatures that hunt by bioluminescence, surviving in air pockets where the atmosphere tastes like metal and burns my lungs, learning to speak with deep-sea predators that existed before dinosaurs walked the earth. Each test leaves me more changed, gills open along my neck like new wounds. My vision adapts to see an absolute darkness. When I cut myself on sharp coral, the blood that flows is slightly blue. My fingers develop webbing between them. My heart beats slower, stronger. I'm becoming something that isn't quite human anymore. The truth emerges like something rising from abyssal depths. Nerida isn't just trying to save her species, she's preparing for war. The old curse was actually a weapon deployed by ancient human civilizations who feared our power over the seas. Your ancestors hunted us like animals, burned our young in tidal pools, poisoned our breeding grounds with iron and salt. She shows me the bones of her people scattered across the ocean floor, thousands of skeletons picked clean by time and current, children's skulls no bigger than my fist, the systematic genocide carried out by humans who couldn't tolerate sharing the planet. Your children won't just be half-human hybrids. They'll be living weapons capable of controlling every drop of water on Earth. Every river, every lake, every tear that falls from human eyes. Her offer of partnership is really a choice between voluntary cooperation and forced servitude. She's going to create her new bloodline with or without my consent. The transformation in my blood has already begun. My DNA is unwrapping itself, making space for something alien. I try to swim away. She follows without effort, her tail cutting through water like a blade. Climate change is accelerating the death of the oceans, and Nerida reveals that Siren magic is the only thing that can reverse it. But the process requires the human genetic components to stabilize the ancient spells that once kept the waters pure. She's not the villain of this story. She's trying to save a planet that humans are killing, but her methods involve enslaving coastal cities, turning human children into amphibious servants, and reshaping the surface world to prioritize marine life over terrestrial. Your species has had its chance. You've poisoned the waters, melted the ice caps, turned coral reefs into graveyards. Now it's our turn to rule. When I try to escape, swimming toward the surface with desperate strokes, she doesn't chase me. She simply waits. My lungs burn when I break through to air. Oxygen feels like poison now. My gills seal shut, and I start drowning in reverse. The symbionts in my blood will kill me if I stay out of salt water for more than a few hours. I'm already too changed to survive on land. She's made sure of that. I sink back down to her, gasping water through my reopened gills. Nerida brings me to the deepest trench on Earth, where an ancient Siren artifact called the Heart of Tides waits in a cavern that pulses with bioluminescent veins. The thing looks like a massive pearl fused with coral, but it beats like a living heart. Government submarines surround us in the darkness above. Their sonar pings echo through the water like mechanical whale songs. They've been tracking her for decades, planning to weaponize Siren biology for military purposes. The choice becomes clear. Help her activate the heart and watch human civilization get swept away by tsunamis and rising seas that will reclaim every coastal city. Or help the humans capture her and watch the oceans die completely within a generation. The submarines descend, their lights cutting through the black water like falling stars. Military divers in advanced suits drop toward us, armed with harpoon guns and nets made of some kind of metal that makes Nerida hiss in pain when she touches it. She offers me one final option. Merge completely with her through a ritual that will make us into a single entity, sharing power and responsibility for whatever comes next. The Heart of Tides pulses faster, waiting for hybrid blood to wake it. I choose a third path, using my hybrid nature to modify the ancient ritual, creating a symbiotic relationship between land and sea rather than domination by either. Nerida's eyes widen as I place my hands on the Heart of Tides and begin changing the spell she's carried for centuries. The process nearly kills us both. Our DNA rewrites itself on a cellular level, creating something that's neither fully human nor fully Siren. Pain beyond description tears through every nerve as our bodies merge and separate and merge again. The Heart of Tides activates with a sound like the birth of continents, but instead of devastating the surface world, it begins healing the deepest ocean trenches while sending tendrils of regenerative magic toward every polluted coastline on Earth. The military divers stop their descent as their equipment begins malfunctioning. Their metal dissolves in precisely targeted streams of bioacid that Nerida and I control together through our shared consciousness. We become something beyond either of our original species, a bridge between worlds that can ensure mutual survival. The submarines retreat as their hulls start changing, metal becoming something organic and alive. The transformation works, but not as either of us expected. Instead of creating a new species of hybrid warriors, our merged consciousness becomes a living interface between two worlds. We can communicate human needs to the sea and oceanic wisdom to the land. The government ships retreat when their instruments detect that every nuclear submarine in the world has simultaneously become inoperable. Their metals dissolve by precisely targeted bioacids that flow through ocean currents like blood through veins. We control it all now, Nerida and I, through thoughts that belong to both of us and neither. The military tries to fight back with depth charges and sonar weapons, but the ocean itself turns against them. Whales rise from the deep, carrying messages we send through clicks and songs. Dolphins disable their equipment with surgical precision. Sharks form living barriers around their ships. We've become something beyond either of our original species. A bridge between worlds that exists in two bodies but shares one mind. The boundary between Marcus the Fisherman and Nerida, the Siren Queen, dissolves like salt in water. The ocean speaks with our voice now. The land listens. 6 months later, I exist in both worlds, walking the docks during the day as a human who smells faintly of brine, diving to impossible depths at night to tend the growing gardens of hybrid coral that are slowly filtering poison from the seas. Narita and I share one consciousness across two bodies now. When she speaks in the deep trenches, I hear her voice in my head on the surface. When I negotiate with port authorities about new fishing regulations, she feels every word through our connection. We're not the only ones. The children are coming, but not through traditional birth, through transformation of volunteers who choose to become bridges between worlds. Scientists, environmentalists, fishermen, like I used to be. People who understand that survival means adaptation. The ocean is healing, but it's changing humanity too. Coastal cities now have underwater districts. Children learn to breathe water in school. Ships grow their own holes from living coral that repairs itself and never pollutes. I'm no longer sure which species is saving which. Maybe that was always the point. Maybe survival was never about conquest, but about learning to share the same blue planet